Hello everyone, today I'm making a festive 4th of July poke cake using red and blue Jell-O. It's colorful, delicious, and perfect for your Independence Day celebrations. So let's get started. The first step is to bake a white cake using a box of white cake mix. You can use whatever brand you like. I'm using Aldi's. Okay, here's a little tip before I get started. The box calls for using 5 egg whites to make a white cake. Now, I don't like boxed white cake as much as I do like yellow cake or vanilla cake. So I decided that I was going to use some whole eggs in this so it will taste more like a vanilla cake, but it won't be as dark as yellow cake. So instead of using 5 egg whites, I'm using 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites to replace those 5 egg whites. But of course, you can make it just like the box says if you prefer. Okay, I'm going to bake this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, you're going to want to grease your pan first. I'm using the cooking spray that has flour added to it. I recommend that. Of course, you can use whatever you want. And you're going to bake it about 30 minutes or until it's done. Please keep in mind that not all ovens are the same, so you may need to adjust either your oven temperature or baking time depending on your oven. And you should know when it's done by the way it looks and by the way it smells. And of course, you can test it out by inserting a toothpick in the middle or a butter knife. Okay, you're going to need to bake this cake in a 13 by 9 inch pan. And once it's finished baking, you're going to poke holes in it. You're going to use an object like a kitchen utensil, like a wooden spoon or something. I'm using a whisk that has a round end, and you're going to poke holes and try to space them out evenly. I think I was able to do 5 rows of 4 holes. So they're about, I don't know, an inch or 2 apart. And I think I got 20 holes altogether. So that's 5 rows of 4 holes. So while the cake is baking in the oven, you want to go ahead and prepare your Jell-O. So you're going to use half of a pack, a 3-ounce pack of Jell-O, both blue and red. And you're going to take a half pack, as I already said, that's a 1/4 cup. You're going to put the blue Jell-O in one bowl and the red Jell-O in another bowl. And you're going to add 1 cup of boiling water to each and a 1/4 cup of cold water to each, which is what I'm doing here. This is the blue Jell-O. And then you're going to take a whisk and you're going to stir until it's dissolved. And then you're going to do the very same thing with the red Jell-O. Okay, now we're finally getting to the fun part. We are ready to fill these holes. I'm using a dropper, as you can see here, because that will give me a little bit more precision rather than using a cup. Because if you try to use a measuring cup, it's going to spill and splash a little bit. So you want to fill each hole. You want to alternate the colors. In other words, you don't want to have the same color side by side. Of course, you can do what you want to, but I like to alternate. So have like blue, red, blue, red. You understand what I mean? And also, instead of precisely filling up the holes, I am going to splash just a little bit around the holes because I like to have that splash watercolor effect. I think that makes it prettier. And now I'm doing the same thing with the red Jell-O. And your cake should look something like this when you're done. The next step is to cover the entire cake with Cool Whip topping. Now I'm going to decorate the cake, and I'm going to try to make it look like an American flag using blueberries and strawberries. I'm using 25 blueberries. That's 5 rows of 5 blueberries for the stars. There isn't room for more. Now I'm going to use strawberries that have been hulled and sliced as the stripes. And there you have it, a 4th of July poke cake. This recipe is so easy and the cake is so delicious and moist, and it's sure to please your family and friends, and it's perfect for celebrating the 4th of July. Okay, that's it for this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please do consider subscribing to my channel because I do plan to upload similar content in the future. And while you're here, please do check out my link in the bio, and please visit my Amazon page where I make a lot of great recommendations for everything from things for the home, things for the kitchen, beauty, fashion, fragrance, you name it. Thanks for watching.